guys, this is Heather. I've only recorded my first video probably like 4 times, but the good part is that I'm getting used to talking to a camera lens, so at least I've got that going for me. Obviously by the title, I am an ExJW's witness. I think to a point I was physically out but still mentally in until, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. There was always some form of guilt, and now it's just kind of just angry for a little bit. I think I'm past that. My big thing at this point is, you know, if you wanted to join a religion that obligates you to dance with the hula hoop and the rain, I really don't care. But the control and hypocrisy that goes on with Watchtower, I think we can kind of make a strong argument for is a little bit excessive. You get baptized and they can change the terms of that little verbal contract they make with you as much as they want, and if you want to dissent from their dissenting opinion, you're screwed. There's no clean way out for you. You know, the 607 BC, eventually they got to give that whole calculation to 1914 up, because it's going to, be honest, it's going to fail. The overlapping generation thing is total BS. I know plenty of Jehovah's Witnesses that don't understand it and or do not believe it, but they don't say crap about it because, like I said, there's no clean way out. My exit, I guess you can call it an exit. I was disfellowshipped when I think I was like 18 or 19. To be honest, I really couldn't tell you why. I was a really depressed teenager doing and saying a lot of things to kind of fit in with whatever crowd I was in. I got baptized for the wrong reasons, and that was another part of my fitting in, like you tend to want to do as a teenager. The thing is that I was learning Spanish, and you know, the morning that I found out my parents had hacked my email, I don't think it was legal at 18 years old. But you know, back when I was 18 years old, that was the thing, is email. The day I found out that they hacked my email and all the big game, I was talking with my friends. Meanwhile, I don't think I'd so much as kissed a boy. Maybe smoking once in a great while, but you know, a social setting type of thing. It wasn't a habit. I could have dropped it. I'm bouncing all over the place, don't mind me. But yeah, I was 17, 18, I don't know. I was a teenager. And you know, I was in my judicial committee for I don't know what. I still don't know what. And you know, I was depressed, dealing with that, and you know, the elders in their infinite and spirit-led wisdom decided I was not repentant, although I was suicidal. I don't understand what they look for in repentance, but my dad said it was a 3-strike rule that I broke, but when he told me what the other 2 strikes were, they were also idiot teenager stuff that wasn't a major sin, number 1, and number 2, they were before I was baptized. Basically, I'd been lectured by the elders when my dad couldn't get me to, you know, get under the thumb too many times. But, yeah, I was disfellowshipped. Absolutely devastated. We'll get into that another day. But it totally broke me. Over a decade later was when I finally woke up. I had started counseling. I was really struggling with anxiety and PTSD, but I hadn't gotten treatment for it yet, and it was getting to the point where it was unmanageable. Like, it literally felt like somebody was strangling me at times. Like, the pain was there and I could breathe, and obviously I wasn't being strangled because I wasn't passed out on the floor, haha. But I physically did not feel like I could breathe. I physically felt like my throat was closing up, and it was so bad that even now talking about it, like that in itself was traumatic. Even now talking about it, I can feel my throat closing up. But my counselor, when we discussed being disfellowshipped when I was a depressed teenager, losing my entire support system when I needed it then more than ever, she suggested I go onto YouTube, I find TED Talks, and look at some of the discussions that they have on guilt versus shame. And, I didn't realize there was a difference, but, one's a public response and one is a private response. And I watched a few of those, and then in the recommended videos that you see on the side of your YouTube channel was a thing about Jehovah's Witnesses. And I thought it was great. I'm like, oh look, there's a part of my history. I'll just watch that. It was the hearing in Canada that I'm sure some of us have seen, where the attorney flat out lied through his teeth about how disfellowshipping worked and the extent to which they shun. And it was so incredibly deceptive. And I wanted to scream. Like, I was done. My husband got home. I start yelling at him. He's like, man, like, I'm sure in his head, God love him, he is the most supportive person I know. I'm sure in his head, he was thinking, I knew she needed counseling, but I didn't know it was this bad. Like, I'm sure he thought I was off my rocker, but he's laughing at me now. And I'm screaming at him and telling him to sit down next to me and watch this video. And I made him watch it twice after I had already played it and replayed it over and over again. And I was just livid. I haven't even lost as much as some of you have in the process of being disfellowshipped. And I'm sure that, my experience was kind of light, but as traumatic as it was, I couldn't imagine. And I'm sorry, guys. But, I continued my research, and it just opened up a big ball of wax that did not stop, and really hasn't stopped, because I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this information and where I wanted to take it. And I ran into the Australian Royal Commission. If anyone knows a word that could mean like disgusted, offended, and enraged kind of all at the same time, like, I don't have words for it. The audacity, the obfuscation, it's just bad, y'all. I don't like it. And my husband's going by laughing at me again. He thinks I'm funny for this, but he doesn't say nothing. He's cool. There's a lot that I didn't know. There's a lot of doctrines that I was not made aware of. There's a lot of loss, and what I'm seeing now is a lot of control. So it took a long time and I had some big things to get through, but I'm finally deciding that it's time to kind of add my voice to that chorus and speaking out about it more. I'm not telling any lies. We all know. We've all been through the experience. We'll talk about it more later, but you can't hurt having one more voice out there. Like I said, I don't even know why I got this fellowship. If anyone knows if that would be a good thing to admit, if I ever did want to get reinstated, I'd probably die laughing. But it's the truth. I don't expect that would be a good admission to make. And I don't expect that they would know how to tell me to show repentance for whatever I did wrong when I don't greatly know what I did wrong besides being a teenager just trying to get through life. And not being a goody two-shoes. I really don't know. I hadn't so much as kissed a boy. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm here now. I have a fantastic life. I'm working on the counseling for the PTSD and anxiety. My son is absolutely awesome. My husband just adopted him. He was born maybe 5 years after I got disfellowshipped. And I thought it was like the biggest, worst thing that could happen when I found out that, you know, he was going to be coming into our lives because his father was abusive. So I've been through a lot, and there's a lot of things that there's people in my family and friends that I needed and I didn't have. The majority of my family, well, my immediate family, I have a relationship with all of them, but there's a lot of the extended family I don't. And that sucks. But, you know, more details later. I'm kind of rambling at this point, so I'm going to close it up. I don't want to make these videos super long anyway, so y'all have a good one, and I'm going to enjoy my weekend. And go have a glass of red wine. I haven't done that since that little Passover thing, that Black Passover, but we'll see how it goes. We'll talk later.